Good morning, good afternoon, good evening, folks. Michael Zuber, one rental at a time. And I was so excited to hear about the ultimate checklist, the way to get to your first 100 unit deal, which I have never done. I just changed the order. We were going to do this third. Now we're doing it second because I'm excited. But let's welcome Jonathan Twombly to the channel first.
Well, thanks, Michael, and thanks for giving me the opportunity to share this with people. So if you didn't see the last video, or we just sort of teased it, this is a free ebook that I give away on my website called The Ultimate Checklist, and it is a guide. I can't read backwards. It is a step-by-step guide to buy your first 100+ unit multifamily property with other people's money. And this is the most important point: get paid to do it. This is what syndication is all about.
Yes.
Not only do you use other people's money, but other people are paying you a fee to invest their money and stuff like that. So it's a great business if you're interested. Now, what this checklist does is it basically walks you through every step of the syndication process. Now, most of you have not seen my course, but the course is a comprehensive step-by-step guide to learning about multifamily real estate, learning how to underwrite it, learning how to source it, learning how to finance it, learning how to manage it, do due diligence. I mean, everything you ever wanted to know about multifamily, up through scaling a business in multifamily. That is, however, a 60+ video program. It sells for, I think, $900, right? And if you don't want to go buy the course, what this checklist does is it basically just walks you through that whole process, literally telling you what every step is. So, so it's like, for example, so here we try to do it in just kind of real estate lingo, but you set your foundation, right?
Yep.
This is setting your foundation is basically kind of getting ready, getting into the mindset, right? Learning the vocabulary of multifamily, understanding what the strategies are, right? And understanding really what you have to do to get ready. Then the next step is establish your multifamily investment business, right? So that is all about, so determining what role is right for you. This is a very important piece, right? Finding people who complement you in that role. So you can't do everything yourself. I mean, literally on my coaching call last night, we were talking about the fact that it is impossible to scale, even though most people are out there saying like, oh, you have to master this skill and you have to master this skill and you have to underwrite, you have to source, you have to raise money, you have to do all these things. If you're trying to do all those things, you will never get anywhere. You have to pick one of those, be really good at it, and find other people who are really good at the other things and work together. But so we talk about the team that you need, right, for successful, business, have a successful business, right? Then we talk about selecting the right market, and we go through the factors for selecting, the right market. What are, you've got 2 levels that you're going to be working on. I don't know if you can actually see this in the video, but so you've got like selecting the right MSA, right? Then selecting the right submarket, and what are the factors that you need to think about.
How many steps is this guide? Because this is pretty awesome.
Yeah, I mean, it is well, probably about 60 steps or more. It may be even broken down further.
Sure.
Then we've got this sort of, how do you find the great deals in your market? Right? So it's just organized kind of in a logical sequence. And we talk about, first you've got to figure out what your strategy is before you know what deals to go after. And then what criteria you've got. Then, you've got to put together a broker. If you're just starting out fresh,
Yeah, let me ask you some questions, because
Sure.
I can see how I know you. We've known each other for several years. How complete this is going to be, but let's talk to the audience for a minute. Who needs to get this?
I mean, I would say if you are at all thinking about either buying multifamily property, even if you don't want to syndicate it, just if you've got money to do it on your own, or you've got a couple of friends who want to do this together, this guide will help you sort of figure out what it is that you need to know, right?
Right.
So it'll tell you the steps that you need to take to buy the property and do the due diligence, and how you get through the lending process, all that kind of stuff. So if you don't want to be a syndicator, this guide is still really going to help you a lot. Then there is a section, if you really are, if you're curious about syndication, if you've ever wondered about, well, how do you raise money from other people? How do you structure that? What does that look like? This guidebook will kind of just outlines the steps. Now, I'm not going to lie and say this is like the detailed guide
No.
of exactly how to do everything. But what this is it's going to tell you like, okay, these are the steps I need to take. This is what I need to learn how to do. But I need to learn how to do this. I need to learn how to, set up an investor funnel. I need to learn how to, talk with investors. I need to create a deck to show them. So it basically, I think for anybody who's got sort of the curiosity as to whether this is something that you might want to do, but you really don't know what the process is, and you think it's like you're overwhelmed by the idea of it because you don't know what's involved, this will just tell you exactly what's involved, right?
Yeah.
So you can actually mentally start thinking about, okay, is this something I really want to do or not? Or maybe I thought about this, but it's too much work, or, maybe you look at it and you're like, oh, actually, this is really exciting to me. So
Yeah.
I think it's to satisfy that curiosity, really.
I think there's a couple of things that I would add on top of that. I think every one of my followers and viewers needs to go get this, right? It's free. It's from a trusted source. Somebody's given us hundreds of hours. Second, people on my channel know that what I'm currently doing is buying residential with 30-year debt, because I expect to repeat what I did in my book, which was 1031 into multifamily. I expect there's a lot of pain coming. I think there's a lot of busted syndications coming. And something my audience will know is I'm trying to add more tools to my tool belt. So what did I do last week? And we had a call on pre-foreclosures with an expert. This is an example of how I could go bigger. I'm going to get this. I'm going to get, once I put the link in the description, I'm going to be one of those people that, puts my email down and gets this, because I'm playing for the future, right? You don't learn what something is the day you need it. You've got to learn, understand, figure out, of these 60 items, hey, I understand 30 of them. I got to scratch the itch on the other 30, right? They didn't make sense. I got to go deeper. This is something that everybody needs to get, even if you're only looking at single families and one rental at a time like me, because there will be an opportunity if this recession really gets bad and cap rates go up, cap rates go up, interest rates go up, rents go down, right? Collections get worse. It could get messy. So having this skill potentially to bail out a busted syndication at a discount, well, probably a good thing.
Not even that. I mean, I think if you're looking to, I don't want anybody to feel intimidated and think you have to go for 100-unit deals, right?
True,
that this is only going to speak to, if you're looking at, 10 units or 20 units, right? It's the exact same process that you're going to go through.
I agree.
The same due diligence, the same thought process. So if you're even thinking about like, hey, I want to make the leap from, from
4 to 10,
from quote unquote residential, which is 4 and under, to commercial, which is 5 and up. This is all the stuff that you need to know.
I agree.
Like I said, this is the things you need to be thinking about, right? This is going to tell you what it is that you need to learn in order to be able to start taking down those commercial deals, right? So I think it'll be helpful for really anybody who's curious about the process.
Yeah, and again, Jonathan has a playlist on this channel. You can go back and watch some of his early discussions about how he did some big deals, and I think it was South Carolina. This is the process, right? This is how he did that, and I think
this is what I learned, and it sort of will save you from some of the mistakes that I made. Right. Because
it'll accelerate the path too.
Because I didn't know this stuff. This all came from my experience. So if you want this, there's a URL that you should go to. It is bit.ly, that's LY, /one rental away, in honor of this show. I mean, you can't get this elsewhere, but please go through this link to get it, so we can see who got it from this show.
And I'm going to make that the only, if you go to the show notes or details or whatever it's called below this thing, it's going to be the only line is the bit.ly link. So go get it. I think everybody who watches this should go get it, because I know all of you either are or will be thinking about this, and you got to get prepared early. So I'm going to go get it as soon as this is done.
Yeah. And I think it'll help your investing, whatever you invest in, because there's certain things like market selection, right? I'm sure Michael talks plenty about that in his stuff. And probably maybe what we say is pretty similar, but it's always good to kind of see how people think about, what are the factors. And I've got some data sources in there that are helpful for getting, free data about markets, so it's, I think
in fairness, that is stuff I don't really talk about that much, because I only can talk about what I do. And I have one market I've ever been in. So I think market selection and details and free information is awesome. I don't have it, folks. This is why you need to go to the bit.ly link below and get this, because he's talking about stuff that I talk about maybe at the 10,000 foot level, but he's going to go deeper.
Yeah, I mean, listen, if you are the kind of person who, for whatever reason, you don't want to, or you can't invest in your backyard, or you're thinking about investing out of state someplace, and you're just overwhelmed by like, well, where should I go?
Exactly.
Rather than just asking people like on the internet, like, hey, what's a good market?
Yeah.
Like everyone's going to tell you the market they invest in is a good market, right? No matter where it is. This will actually give you like some criteria, so you can actually set up like a thought out process of like how you pick a market, when literally like there are thousands of markets in the United States that you could potentially invest in, and that's overwhelming. So this will give you some criteria to pick some and
Awesome.
and focus more narrowly. So I think it'll help there too.
Yep, I'm going to be getting this as soon as we're done recording, folks. You should get it. Bit.ly link below. I will just put it. I love the fact that it's one rental it away. So let's all let's go get it. Show them that we appreciate Jonathan and his time each week. Thanks, bud.
You're welcome. Thank you.
Mhm.